Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's check out the Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection running on Nintendo Switch 2, although this is a Nintendo Switch 1 game. Okay, so there are two versions of this collection. There's the Wonder Boy Collection, which features these 4 games, right? So Wonder Boy in Monsterland, I think it's Wonder Boy in Monster Lair and Monster World 4. I think that's what's in there. And then the Anniversary Collection includes Monster World 2, Monster World 3, and Monster World 4. So under these different names for the different Wonder Boy games. So essentially you get the different versions with the different branding. There's a long story behind Wonder Boy and why Wonder Boy is also part of the Monster World series, and the Monster World series being part of the Wonder Boy series. But probably for another day, because that one could take a while to explain. But yes, Wonder Boy and Monster World are the same universe. They're the same games, just brought under different publishers and different developers. So let's check this out. We've got the original Wonder Boy in the arcade. Right, and then the Master System version of the sequel, Wonder Boy Monsterland. And then Monster Lair. I don't think this is the PC Engine version. The PC Engine version is probably the best one. We have Monster World 2, also known as Wonder Boy 3. Monster World 3, also known as Wonder Boy in Monster World. Right. Then Monster World 4, which actually didn't really appear in North America until much, much later. So this stayed in Japan for quite a while. Alright, let's check out the original arcade game. In fact, this original arcade game might also be known to you as the Master Higgins games, which would include Adventure Island 2. Yeah, so we have System 1, we have the SG-1000, the Mark III, Master System version, and the Game Gear. And then the Revenge of Dragon Call. Japanese version, and then the World version. Boy, there's a lot of different versions. Well, let's check out the original arcade version. Now, I did play this in the arcades many, many moons ago. This game, why can I not start the game? Ah, okay, that's the credits. Credits is L1. Again, you can see why this is part of the Adventure Island series as well. Very similar gameplay. It's just for whatever reason Hudson wasn't able to keep this the Wonder Boy character around when they wanted to bring Wonder Boy to other platforms. So they made Adventure Island instead. No. Yeah, again, very simple game for its time. But, you know, at the time, you know, the games were simple. So, but this was a big arcade hit. I know it may not seem like it now, but this is super popular. But it's good. It's a very simple, addictive game. You know, it's easy to understand. Has kind of a nice little rhythm and flow to it. It's, you know, challenging. Of course, it's an arcade game. Meant to take your money. That being said, we can't really play these for too terribly long because there is a bunch of versions of this game. Okay, and then now we're getting into the home consoles, the SG-1000. Boy, kind of rough, huh? Well, I mean, this is pre-master system, so... Ooh, my goodness. Boy, it's tough to play that. It's tough to play that version. Let's see how the Mark III does. I remember this being okay. You know, because this was essentially the master system that we got in North America. Yeah, obviously fares much better. God, did it always move this fast? This thing's cooking, you know? Yeah, a little closer to the arcade, but the layouts are different. Yeah, that thing wasn't there, was it? That platform? It's like it didn't show up for some reason. Huh, a little buggy. Like, that platform just was not there. I was like, how am I supposed to make that jump? Yeah, a pretty impressive version of the game. Still, close to the original System 1, but adding a lot more stuff to it. Super Wonder Boy, huh? Master System, I imagine this is the same thing as the Mark III. Like I said, it's just our version of the Mark III. I thought there was a way to jump really, really high. Yeah, well, it's the Master System version. Japanese Game Gear, huh? I mean, it's interesting to see all these versions, even though sometimes the differences may not be too terribly much between them. Obviously, the resolution's much lower on the Game Gear, so things are going to look a little zoomed in. In a way, I kind of like it, this close, though. Maybe not to see how far ahead something is, but I still like all the detail of how close it is. Though, yeah, again, it does make it harder since you can't see as far. Alright, really not a bad version of Wonder Boy. Did a good job of that. The Revenge of Drancon. I wonder why they decided to change the name for North America. Especially to something so different from Wonder Boy. Oh, that's right, you have to push up. Diagonally up to do the faster run. I was like, I swear we could get that stuff. Yeah, again, a pretty decent conversion of the original game. I mean, it went through quite the evolution here from the original System 1 to the SG-1000 to the to the Master System, to the Game Gear. Then Wonder Boy Monster Land. This was also in the arcade. Let's see, Japanese System 2, the Mark III, the international version, and then the Master System version. Oh, there's a lot of versions. I mean, it's very comprehensive, this collection. This one was super interesting because this played like an action adventure, so this was closer to like Zelda than it was to the original Wonder Boy. This is sort of the beginnings of the more adventure game version of Wonder Boy, instead of just being a regular, action game where you move left and right. Now you actually had a world to explore. And again, this is an arcade game, right? So it's very unusual to have like this game where you can just roam freely. Yeah, but then, future Wonder Boy games would play like this. Okay, and then let's see. We have the Mark III. We have the Super Wonder Boy Monster World. So it's going to be the Master System version, or what we know as the Master System. Again, pretty reasonable version of the arcade game. Obviously, the resolution's lower, so things are zoomed in a bit more, but it really keeps the spirit of the game. Yeah, again, pretty impressive, all things considering. And then this is the world version, although I personally never saw this arcade unit back in the day when this was around. I saw it years later. At a nickel arcade when, during the more of the 16-bit age, when nobody was interested in playing the 8-bit game like this. Again, super weird to be to have this kind of game in the arcade. Something which wasn't just a straight-up action game like the original. It's the full-on adventure game. Although you can't go back in the worlds or anything like that. So it's not like a traditional Metro style game. But you buy stuff and level up, which again, very weird for an arcade game at the time. God, there's so many versions. It's it's so weird that this is so comprehensive, but not totally comprehensive, right? Because I don't believe this collection includes PC Engine versions, which would have appeared under the Monster World names. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe when we get to Wonder Boy 3, we'll maybe see the PC Engine versions. Although even amongst the PC Engine, you know, you had the HuCard versions, and then you had the CD versions, depending on what game it was. Again, pretty impressive that they captured, you know, the spirit of the arcade here. Oh, huh, that wasn't 3 hits. That was only 2 hits. That's kind of weird. Alright. Wonder Boy 3, Monster Lair. I played this as just Monster Lair on the PC Engine, or the TurboGrafx 16. Yeah, so this just includes just the arcade version, the System 16 on Genesis. Yeah, no PC Engine version. I wonder if they just couldn't get the rights to that code. And again, this kind of returns more to the formula of the original game, except this is shooting. So it's ranged combat instead of close combat, unlike the first game. Yeah, it's a shame the PC Engine version isn't included. That certainly is the best version of this game. Mainly because of its Red Book audio. Yeah, certainly a different feeling coming off of the Monster Lair. Or Monster Hunter 2, or Monster World. So, as I said, it's just so funny, the history of these games. I mean, you work in Adventure Island in here too, and then it's like, it's just expand. It just goes through so many different series and different gameplay styles. Alright, and I don't know if I've ever seen the Genesis version of this. I don't think I've actually played it. Gonna have a little trouble, obviously, looking like the System 16 version, since the Genesis wasn't able to generate as many colors on screen. Yeah, so visually it's a much different looking game. But we do get some nice parallax. Yeah, again, not as good as the PC Engine version. But, you know, if you only had a Genesis, then this was still fun. Anyway, good version. Bit different than the arcade one, but you know, still same basic gameplay. And then Wonder Boy 3, also known as Monster World 2, depending on the region that you're in. God, can we cover all these games? Man, there's so many versions of this stuff. Of course, this saw a recent remake all on its own as a freestanding game with you know, completely new graphics, but the same basic gameplay. Again, for me, I played this on the PC Engine. Really loved it there. That's my favorite version of this game in particular. I like how they basically hid the monsters behind a pillar. Yep, now we're adding the back to the adventure style gameplay. Game Gear version. Try that again. I picked the wrong selection. Again, you know, lower resolution. So, yeah, you're just going to get that more zoomed in look. But pretty much the same game, though. Oh, well, not all these games had remakes. I mean, we're not going to play all the way through these versions. Really, this is just for a piece of gaming history, just to see how, you know, how these games transformed over the years. But no, I wouldn't play this version. I would play the remake of this game, or I'd play the PC Engine version. But again, it's weird that this collection doesn't include the PC Engine. I wonder if there's maybe some sort of rights issue they had. Although, you know, I think there's some people who didn't like the remake's art style that much. Personally, I thought it was really good, but, you know, I guess I can see if you're some sort of purist that maybe you didn't appreciate the artist's take on Wonder Boy. And I don't think that version had the ability to switch to the old version. I think you could switch to the old soundtrack, but not the old graphics. So again, if you really like these kind of graphics, then the new one didn't even give you the option to look at them. Only the option to listen to the soundtrack. Of course, the scrolling seems a little weird, but that's because it was Game Gear, and this was actually kind of smooth on the Game Gear, but the refresh rate's a little strange on the Game Gear. It's certainly not all that compatible with a 60 Hz display. Just like the refresh rate on a Game Boy is a little weird. Yeah, it's nice when they can just automatically switch to the other game or to the old graphics. But I do understand that, you know, that basically requires the game underneath to run on top of, or the new game to run on top of the old game at the same time. So there may be some technical challenges to doing something like that. Okay, Monster World 3, which was also Wonder Boy in Monsterland, or in Monster World. God, there's so many games here. We have the Mega Drive, the Genesis, and the Master System. So this was home version only. No arcade version. Yeah, I played this on the Genesis when it came out. I don't think I got it on release day, but I did pick it up after playing the PC Engine Wonder Boy 3. Yeah, considering the side-scrolling adventure, which, like I said, this is where the series kind of ended up being. Let's call back to the second game here. Kind of interesting they would make this reference. I mean, the second game was many years old by this time. The remake, sound and graphics on the fly. I guess I only remember the sound being on the fly, and I remember the sound only being the between the Master System version and the new sound, and not the PC Engine one. Yeah, because for whatever reason, the PC Engine version just got cut out of all these remakes. Like I said, it's probably a rights thing. Genesis version. Yeah, not that there's anything really wrong with the Master System version, but you know, I don't quite like it as much. But again, if I'm going to play that game, I'm going to play it with the new graphics and the new sound. I'm not going to use the old soundtrack. Yeah, this anniversary one is crazy. It just has so many versions of every game. Whereas the original Wonder Boy collection, it just had the 4 games and that was it. Not every version of the 4 games, minus the PC Engine. Master System. Yeah, the remake was super surprising. I just never expected anybody to remake that game. I mean, to me, I knew it as Dragon's Curse from the PC Engine, but most other people knew it as Wonder Boy in Monsterland. Oh, the Master System version is different. Oh, this is quite a bit different than the Genesis version. Why is your sword such a... Wow, that is... You have to be right up on something to get... Look how close you have to be to kill something. Makes me nervous to be that close to something. Boy, they had to sacrifice a lot for the Master System version. Why is the hitbox so small on this? I mean, I guess you can get used to it, but that sword is supposed to be way farther up. Yeah, boy, I would not choose to play that one. That version of this game. Monster World 4. Again, this was actually a fairly recent release. We did not get this in North America for quite some time. Another hidden gem, though. I think we got the North American release finally when the Wii came out, the Wii Virtual Console. I think it's the first time I remember seeing an English version of this available in North America. It's funny how long this formula lasted. That's right. For some reason, she shakes her ass before she opens the treasure chest. Look at this climbing animation. Doink, doink, doink. Not even smooth. Just a little page up there. But then all these nice parallax backgrounds. And somehow they got that climbing animation all wrong. Okay, Genesis version. Oh my gosh. Yeah, PlayStation 3 or Wii. It was one of those two. I remember specifically on the Wii, but it might have been PlayStation 3 first. But again, really good game. We just never got it. I think it came pretty late in the Genesis lifetime, so they decided not to bring it over. And the Wonder Boy series wasn't very as popular over here. Just that very first game in the arcade was popular. Yeah, I really love this. I really love this game. It's a shame it took it so long to come over here. And then all the same developers got together to make the new version of this. Which, you know, I don't know how successful that was. I don't think it's on sale. Well, at least I didn't see it on sale. I'll pick it up when it is on sale, though. Because I really like it. But it's very old school. I mean, it plays exactly like this game. Just the really long checkpoints, the super simple enemies and the big complicated dungeons. Yeah, it's weird that the vertical scrolling isn't good on this. I wonder why they decided to do it this way. It's not that the Genesis. I mean, it does vertical scrolling just fine. It's weird that the rope climbing wasn't smooth. Yeah, great soundtrack too. And on the Genesis, it was not easy to find a game that sounded really good. It had great music. A lot of that old Genesis music is pretty rough to listen to. Something about the burpy sound of it versus something like the NES, which I don't know. It just didn't have the same kind of grating sound. But every once in a while, you'd get a really good sounding Genesis game. It just wouldn't happen as often. Yeah, look at all this, cool scrolling everywhere. Really advanced game. And at this age in the lifetime of consoles, like the Metroid style game, I mean, it wasn't really all that common. It was kind of falling out of favor. Oh, never mind. We get like an art book and everything, huh? Wow. Not that I care about this stuff, because quite frankly, I would just look at this stuff once. It's not like I'm gonna come back to this and look at this over and over again. But it's nice that they have like all this artwork here. Oh, look at this. Dev notebooks. Little sketches from the team. It's cool stuff. So this is on sale. The Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection is on sale. I think it's like $25, which is normally $50. And then the Wonder Boy Collection, the non-anniversary version, the one that doesn't include like the Master System versions, basically all the versions and all the artwork, that one's not on sale for $30. So, so it just makes sense to buy this version, even if you don't care about having every single version of the game. You just get more value out of it. So yeah, this is cool stuff. It's definitely worth checking out. especially on the games in the later series. You know, having these more adventure style games, the more Metroidvanias. That stuff is pretty timeless. You know, maybe you'll get sick of Wonder Boy pretty fast. You know, Wonder Boy and Wonder Boy 3, you might play those once or twice, you know, or maybe just get to the end of them and never go back to them again. But like Monsterland, Monster World, and Monster World 4, classic games, worth playing. Alright, so we'll stop it there. This is meowmurai. You've been watching the Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection running on Nintendo Switch 2. Again, no need to run it on the Switch 2. If you have a Switch 1, these will run just fine. No advantages running on Switch 2. But they are on sale, and they're worth checking out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream. So many games on sale. It's hard to cover all these. It's too much good stuff.